Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee with Cop. We have Chief Wilmot back on. It's fantastic. We already know how he likes his coffee because we asked him all those hard questions last time. We know he's drinking it black. Let's see how he's doing. How we doing today, Chief?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, buddy. I'm great.
It's been a minute since we've been together.
Yeah, I think we said April, right?
I think,
Something
yeah,
like
I think
that.
it was like late April.
April.
In fact, I
late
think if I remember correctly, it was like the week before I went to Florida on vacation.
I think
Does that
that's
sound right?
Yeah, I do remember that. So
Was-
how was vacation?
Vacation was good. Yeah, one of the better ones I've had.
Yeah.
So
What'd you do? Anything? Wrestle any alligators?
no, unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity. Sat by the water. It was warm, but not too warm. Fort Lauderdale in April. So ate good food, had a drink or two, you know. So
I've never. Sorry.
you're good.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Is that the black coffee?
No, you know I
No.
don't drink it black.
No,
I think it's my breakfast, the beef jerky I ate this morning.
that's what you have for breakfast.
Yeah, and cottage cheese.
What's with the protein? High protein? Are you trying to? Is this like gain season or something?
No,
for you,
it's my
Chance?
breakfast.
Okay.
I like to eat high protein breakfast. I
Yeah.
eat eggs usually.
Good for you. I had 2 eggs hard boiled for
Oh,
breakfast.
Okay, hard boiled. That's
Yeah.
good.
And then Greek yogurt with some granola in it.
See, that's high protein too.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you work out this morning?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I woke up late.
Okay.
Normally I do, but I woke up late.
What is your morning routine?
My morning routine.
Yeah, I love this because you're the host, but I'm the one here.
My morning routine that I like to try to keep to is I wake up, I work out, I eat breakfast, and then I come straight here and then clean up my station and get ready to go.
Yeah. What time's wake up?
I usually wake up anywhere from 5:45 to 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you work out, you go to the gym, lift weights, generally speaking?
I have a gym downstairs, so I work out downstairs.
Oh, at your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a squat rack, and then I do a lot of kettlebell stuff.
Nice.
So
Nice.
keep it low key.
How long is your workout typically?
I have a long day and I have a short day. So my short day is usually like 45 minutes. My long day is like hour 15.
That's good.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, 7 days a week?
No, generally speaking, I'd say like 4 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any cardio in there, big guy?
You know what? I was running every day. I was running a mile every day.
See, now
And then
now you're speaking to my heart.
I know I fell off because I talked to some of your friends.
Yeah.
And they say they got the Strava app.
Yeah.
Right. And they get mad when they look at your workouts.
Oh, okay.
Because you run too fast.
Yeah. It's all relative. It's all relative. I follow people on Strava that make me embarrassed. So, yeah.
What's your morning routine like? Let's
So lately, I'm up generally speaking before 4, which is really early.
Yeah, that's early.
So let's just talk about this morning. So I was out of bed at 3:15, and I fed the dogs, and then I puttered and did some chores until caffeine kind of settled in. I was running at 4:07. I ran for 65 minutes. Then I got home and showered, put a uniform on, got my lunch ready. Yeah, made the bed.
So 65
stuff.
minutes. How far are you going in 65 minutes? roughly?
It's an easy day, so it was 8.5 miles.
8.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
So Mondays and Tuesdays are easy days. Thursdays and Fridays are easy days. Wednesdays and Saturdays tend to be workouts.
you
So
training for anything?
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
What do you want to run next?
I'm probably gonna run a half marathon this fall, but
Yeah.
I haven't figured out when or what, where. I'm kind of thinking, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
It depends what life gives me for opportunity.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and do a 5K
Good for you.
at some point.
Whereabouts? There's some
Oh.
there's some local ones coming up.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll do a local one.
Yeah, I think there's a couple around the corner in Newport
Okay.
coming up in the next couple months, and then we have the Brewfest 5K here. It's the second Saturday, I think, in September. It coincides with our Brewfest,
Yeah.
which is down at the Visitor Center Green. So before that, they do a 5K. It starts at Barnes Park and it goes up Elm Street, cuts across Thrasher Road to 120, comes southbound back down to the park, and then turns left and finishes right in front of the Visitor Center right before Brewfest opens up. So
Yeah.
kind of a fun one.
Cool.
Yep.
How early in the morning is that? You know?
Oh, that's actually not that early. I think that's maybe 11:30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Saturdays are hard because I'm working.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're looking to do something early
I mean,
or
yeah,
not on a
yeah,
Saturday?
yeah. We're not on a Saturday. I don't know. We'll
Okay.
figure it out. I'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
do
yeah.
some research and see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough balancing the work schedule because I do have
No
that like
kidding.
that odd Saturday. So a lot of things. It's like, oh, whoa,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
When you
then
say odd Saturday, what do you mean?
like I work Tuesday through Saturday. So
Yeah,
like a lot of things happen on Saturdays
sure.
that because I don't work a Monday through Friday job, like my Saturday's unusual
Yeah.
compared to a
Is
lot of
Saturday
things.
generally your busiest day?
No, because I try to cut it short. I
Okay.
try to get out by like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there.
What is your what is your Tuesday through Friday? How late are you here?
Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm here till 6. Pretty hard cap.
Yeah.
6:30 at the latest. And then Thursdays I come in late. So I do a long workout in the morning on Thursdays.
Yep.
And then I come in late. So anywhere from 11 to 12, I'm here and then I work until about 8, 8:30.
Really?
Yeah, on Thursdays. And then Fridays I try to do like an 8 to 8 day.
And you're busy the whole time?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Hey, that's good. That's good, right? For
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. It's good until I get talking, and then once I start talking,
Are
everything's
these
great.
all walk-ins?
No, no, I do pretty much appointments only.
Wow.
Yeah. So like if you wanted to book an appointment, it would probably be next Tuesday would be my available.
What are you saying? I need to have my hair cut?
I'm saying if you wanted a haircut
Yeah. I pick up what you're putting
next
down,
Tuesday.
Chance. Yeah. Yeah.
No, well, what's been going on in the city? What's been happening?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before we went, sort of on air, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking on the walk over here, like there's really never a period of time in the year when it's not busy,
Yeah.
right? It's just things are different, right? So
Sure.
we're now approaching the end of summer. So coming into summer and then the first part of summer has its own sort of I don't want to say challenges, but just things that are unique to that part of the year. So as the school year lets out, we're doing graduations and end of year stuff at the schools, and then alumni parade, and then we're transitioning right into the 4th of July. There's lots through the summertime of like construction projects, and as you know, a lot of the people who will watch this know we're right in the teeth of the reconstruction of Washington Street
Oh
right
yeah.
now, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
um, we're also right in the middle of the reconstruction of North Street and Main Street and that intersection down at the bottom of Piggery Hill.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of other just work that's happening right now, whether it's line striping and stuff. Last week, I think we had requests for detail officers for crack sealing. So there's like construction projects, which has an impact on the police in terms of like needing coverage. The racetrack is open, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As we sort of transition more into the fall, now we're getting ready to go back to school. The back to school festival is coming up this coming weekend. The kids are going to be back in school, so that kind of changes the rhythm of the day a little bit, to the degree that there's an expectation that our officers are out at the schools or in the vicinity of the schools at opening and closing time. A lot more heavy concentration on traffic enforcement during school hours around the school. So things just sort of change. And then what administratively things are changing right now. We have 2 officers who are graduating from the police academy on Friday, so they're going to transition into their field training period. And then we have 2 officers who recently got off of field training who are now on their own.
Yeah.
We just hired a new officer and a new communication specialist, and so they're going to be transitioning into the department now. So there's always a lot of different stuff that's happening, and I think now we're just kind of coming into that like end of summer, getting into the fall. Um, making sure that the fleet's ready to go for winter time and looking at
Right.
tires and just
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And as we get towards the end of the calendar year, there's a huge emphasis on employee development and making sure that officers are hitting their continuing education credits.
Mhm.
And so as of 2020, um, the requirement for police officers and what they have to do for continuing education every year has increased. So our officers are having to do upwards of 40 hours of continuing education every year just to maintain their certification, which doesn't include use of force and firearms classes. So, we'll send them to either leadership schools or, investigative schools, that kind of thing. And then there's required training so they have to do. So once we get into about this time of the year, we're checking to make sure, are we at where we have to be at
Right.
as we come to the end of the year? Because if there's a problem, when we get into January and we find out that someone hasn't had their continuing education credits, and their certification could be suspended or
Right.
put on a probationary status, which we obviously don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
don't
So,
let that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But
it's sort of a joint responsibility between myself and the deputy chief and the administrative team and the officers working together to make sure that everybody's getting what they have to get done.
certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of things that you said.
Yeah.
Back to school festival.
Yep.
What's up with that? What is that? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's something that I can't tell you the number of years that we've done it now, but the school puts it on. It is held at Barnes Park every year, and it's an opportunity for students to interact with members of the faculty at all the different school buildings. And there's giveaways. They have things there for the children. We have a presence there. Obviously, we have a school resource officer who's dedicated to the schools, and for a multitude of different reasons. So we have a contract that we sign with the school every year, and a memorandum of understanding which talks about what the responsibilities are for the SRO and for the school and for the police department. So we obviously have a presence at the Back to School Festival, but it really is just a sort of a warm welcome back into reality for children, which is, hey, listen, life is not all about sleeping in and eating your Lucky Charms at 10 a.m., right? It's about waking up early and going to school and getting a good, proper education. So
Right.
the Back to School Fest, I think, is a nice, soft way to reintroduce the students, and it's on the weekend, to these are your faculty. This is what we're going to be getting ourselves into here. And so, yeah,
Cool.
that's this coming weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then another one that I heard that I liked was that continuing education for police officers.
Yeah.
And so I know I happen to know a couple of police officers personally.
Oh, yeah.
And
Any of them who are on my Strava?
a couple that are on your Strava.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say any names.
Yeah.
But a couple that are on your Strava. Yeah, they talk about your speed.
Yeah.
And and I do know that they're always going to trainings and stuff. So like,
Yeah.
how do you determine which trainings people want to go to? Is it stuff that they get to choose, like what they focus in? Do like you said, like a leadership or like one thing or another? DJ we had last time,
Yeah.
he loves trainings.
He does.
That was the thing that I got from DJ
Yeah.
last time was
Yeah.
he
And
loves the
dogs.
trainings and the dogs.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. Did,
Yeah.
did you catch that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was good.
So the training thing, generally speaking, we will allow the officers to do what it is that interests them in law enforcement within reason, right? We don't need a tank operator here. So if that's something that really interests you, probably not something that we're going to start doing. There has to be some sort of nexus so that like whatever they go to for training will make us a better department, right?
Mhm.
So if there are gaps in the department, for example, if we're short on firearms instructors, we may say like, okay, listen, we need another firearms instructor who's interested in going. And you say, well, I'm interested in going. All right, Chance, you're going to go to firearms instructor school. So oftentimes it's a joint thing between what the department needs and what the officer is interested in. But at the end of the day, we do have a pretty heavy responsibility to obtain continuing education credits. And I personally believe, my own personal philosophy or professional philosophy is that we are going to be a better department, and we're going to make better police officers if we are trying to find things that enrich them personally, right?
Yeah.
So if you have no interest in going to firearms instructor school, but I send you because the department needs that, that's probably not the best idea.
Right.
But if you have an interest, let's say in interview and interrogations, hey, we'll send you to that. If you have an interest in drug investigations, we'll send you to that class, right?
Yeah.
Assuming that it has at least some sort of a connection to what we do here in the city. And I think when we can work with officers to figure out what it is that makes them tickles their heart and sort of gets them out of bed in the morning, then we can find those opportunities for them to keep them more engaged, to keep them more like sort of their head in the game and doing what it is that they want to do. And one of the other things that I've talked about ever since I've been a police chief, whether it was here or in Newport, is like I think the days are gone now when we hire people and expect that somebody's going to stay with us for their entire career. Like that, those employees just aren't the norm anymore. They do exist, right? But it's not the norm. If you think about like back in the the silent generation, you think about like that, your grandfather takes his lunch pail and crosses the bridge and goes to the factory and does that for 45 years, gets his gold watch and then retires, right? That's just not reality any longer. So if you come to me and you say like, listen, I'd like to have an opportunity and I want to work for Claremont PD, but ultimately my dream is to work for the state police. I'd first apologize to you for having that dream, but then I would say like, okay, what is it that I can do to make you a better applicant for when you want to become a state trooper, right? So if that means, we know that the state police place a heavy emphasis on motor vehicle work. They also have other opportunities at the state police that we don't have at the local level. So if that's something that interests you, what training can we give you to make you a more desirable candidate down the road? Because at the end of the day, it is my philosophy that if I'm just invested in you and what it is that makes your heart sing and making you a better person, I'm going to make you a better police officer. And in turn, I might actually save some people from making that bad decision and going to another organization and staying right here. So the focus is mostly on the employee and how can we make them a better police officer? How can we make them a better person? How can we find things for them to do that are enriching to them?
Yeah.
While at the same time, obviously having a broader benefit to the department.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting leadership philosophy because I there's been a lot of talking, especially in the groups and circles that I'm in for barbering, um, about how do you make the workplace better and what can you offer to your employees or renters to make them happy, right?
Yeah.
Make them stay and then make them in long term more productive, right? Because like you said, you don't expect everybody to stay, right? And you almost look for those people who want to continue to build up or find greater opportunities. And you'd like it if they were with you,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
You'd love it if you could say, I want to provide you the highest opportunity available.
Yeah.
It's not always the case, but
Correct.
I want to get you to that point so that when that opportunity comes knocking, I can say, or you can say, like, I'm confident as a person that I'm going to go ahead and take that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a couple ways to look at it, right? And what's kind of interesting is that when I first became a police chief, and looking sort of around the state, you could see that some of the older or more seasoned, more mature, more veteran administrators around the state, I kind of felt like I had fallen way short because I didn't have that same sort of possessiveness that I saw in some of the older police chiefs in other places. And I felt like I had more of a, I don't know, open 21st century millennial kind of mindset, if you will. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not a millennial, but um, in that like things didn't bother me personally. So if an employee came to me and said, "Hey, listen, chief, I want to go to X and X PD, and for these particular reasons," like I wasn't personally offended by that. But I know, having worked around some people, that some chiefs would be personally offended by that, and that attitude would even just scare them away from ever coming to tell you that they wanted to leave in the first place, right?
Yeah.
But whereas I'm more like, Chance, if this isn't where you want to be and you want to go somewhere else, how can I make you the best applicant to get there?
Right.
And I thought, and I still do think that that philosophy yields better people. And if we make better people, then we make better police officers, and ultimately we serve our community better. So yeah, I don't know if it's right, wrong. I'm not really sure. I would like to hire everybody who stays and does their whole career,
Yeah.
but I just know that's not realistic anymore.
Right.
You just said something which I think is really important, which is sort of creating this work environment where people are happy and people feel that like they have some autonomy and agency in the decision making around the agency. And I'm using that word agency in two different contexts there, so I apologize. But they have agency in decision making. However, I also think that that has to be balanced against like standards, right? And we don't want to just say like, okay, well, you don't have to wear a uniform because they're uncomfortable. You don't have to wear a bulletproof vest because they're heavy and it's hot in the summertime. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we still have standards,
Right.
and there's still things that you still expectations that you have to meet, and you still have to show up to work on time, and you still have to produce while you're here. But not knowing that, like, are there other things, sort of soft things that we can provide to our employees to make the workplace a less painful place to be, if you will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even an encouraging place to be.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at from that standpoint. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, either one, but so we have going on in the next. This is we're sort of in a transition, I would say, and you touched on like the seasonal transitions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have going on as we transition from like a summer to a fall in the next month or so?
Yeah, so we are right now, like we are right in the middle of our communications upgrade. So I don't know if we talked about it last time, but shortly after I started in Claremont, we ended up, we were fortunate enough to have our federal delegation. So Senator Shaheen and Congresswoman Custer's office helped us through congressionally directed spending get $1.3 million to renovate our entire dispatch center.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to get new, radios, new dispatch consoles, and then all new communications infrastructure. So mountaintop repeaters. And so it will improve our ability to communicate with radios in the city, and then outside the city, it will improve our ability to communicate with our neighbors. Right. So we also dispatch for the towns of Cornish, Leominster, Unity, and the Sultan County Sheriff's Office. And just to give some sort of historical perspective, all of our communications equipment that we have now is from about 1998. It was purchased with grant money back then, and I don't know, you were in California probably at the time, but in the 1990s, in northern New Hampshire, there was a critical incident with a bad guy by the name of Carl Draga, where police officers, a judge, a newspaper editor were killed, and ultimately there was a convergence of law enforcement to this one particular area to find him and to ultimately stop this threat. And we in New Hampshire, one of the very first times, started to talk about like interoperability and being able to communicate with different agencies, whether it was the Border Patrol or Vermont State Police, New Hampshire State Police, and then the New Hampshire Fish and Game, and then the other agencies that were working that critical incident at the time were having a very difficult time communicating with one another during, the gunfight. And so as a result, there was a large appropriation of money that was put towards communications infrastructure. Claremont benefited from that, and so our entire communications system now was built on that with those grant funds after the Carl Draga incident. And so that equipment reached end of life in probably 2011.
Okay.
And so we are literally
Yeah, was that 14 years?
skating by right now, like with bubble gum and like fingers crossed, making sure that everything still works. And so we've been trying for a long time to get this project done. Well, like I said, our partners at the federal political level, Senator Shaheen and Congresswoman Custer helped us get this money for the city to redo our communications infrastructure. Massively expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not cheap.
Yeah.
So right now we're right in the middle of doing that. So that's kind of the big ticket item on our radar right now. Yeah.
And some onboarding, you said. Like
Yep.
you said, you're going through some
Yep.
transition. You have some people leaving the academy coming
Yep.
in, and people leaving FTO going on their own.
Yeah. So Friday afternoon, we have Officer Alex Simino is a Claremont kid, graduated
Mhm.
from Stevens a few years ago, and Officer Derek Porter, who's a United States Marine Corps veteran, lives locally, but not a Stevens grad. Either way, they graduate from the police academy this Friday. So next week they'll start in their field training. This Monday, today, we have a young man who just started in dispatch. And then next Monday, we have an officer, Mark Farrow, who's starting with us as a full time police officer. He's coming to us. He was prior certified. He's been out of law enforcement for a little bit, so he's got to get his certification back, but
Mhm.
that shouldn't be too heavy of a lift. And then he goes on the field training cycle. His should be a little bit quicker than the brand new guys because he's already been a police officer for a number of years. So
Right.
yeah, some good things happening there. Like I said, Officer Ruggles, another Claremont guy, and Colton LaBelle, another Claremont guy. They graduated from the police academy in April. They graduated field training probably July, and so they've been on their own now for a little over a month. Um, I'm sorry, Adam has been off. That I had that totally wrong. Adam has been off field training for about a year now. Um, Colton and Anthony Vaccaro
Right.
graduated from the police academy in April and have been on their own since July. I don't see Anthony Vaccaro very much because he's on nights right now.
Okay, yeah.
Colton is on days,
Yeah,
so
Colton's on
yeah,
days,
yeah.
yeah.
He's actually working with Adam today, which is why that name was in my head.
Okay.
Apologies there for the shift mix up. So
What does FTO look like? Like how long is that?
it's,
When you
it's
said
sort of
like
officer dependent.
yeah.
Yeah, we have a policy that talks about the structure of field training and the different phases of field training, but it typically lasts somewhere in the 3 month range.
Mhm.
And that can be either just a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, depending on the needs of the officer and the field training experience. We've had, and it's sometimes a laughing matter, you've had some folks who've gone through the field training period and nothing happens. It's like every single day they come to work and it's like crickets. The phone doesn't ring, the radio doesn't sound off. But then there's other people that see everything that you could see in a career in a week.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
how does that happen? Like, this poor guy here, he went through field training and he never once encountered an impaired driver. So
Yeah.
you're extending field training until they get the experience of doing field sobriety tests or something like that.
Right.
Whereas you get another person right out of the gate, they're getting critical incidents on day two, they're getting all kinds of arrests, all kinds of investigations, they're working in car accidents, stopping cars. It's like so there's a little bit of variation there just by virtue of what the radio sends you, but it tends to be somewhere around 3 months. And the goal is when they graduate field training, they're a base level officer, so they can competently handle calls on their own. Now, Claremont's unique for, not completely unique for New Hampshire, but unique, I guess, in a lot of places in New Hampshire because we have direct supervision 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
Mhm.
When I started as a police officer, I started in a very small town, and every shift that I worked, I was by myself. So the day I got out of the police academy, my next shift, I was alone working, making decisions like, no backup. Your backup is a mutual aid department, which 10, 15, 20 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
Here, you always have at least one, sometimes two other patrol officers and a supervisor with you every shift. So you're never really like hung out to dry. You always have somebody there to answer questions. And supervisors here go to every, hot call, in progress call. So they're not really kind of like fed to the wolves,
Right.
but we need to know that like they can protect themselves if they're in a spot by themselves before backup arrives. They know how to get to where they're going
Yeah.
quickly, right? Because if their fellow officers are calling for help, they need to know how to get there and how to get there the quickest. And they need to know the basics of like laws of arrest and search and seizure and stuff so that we're confident that you know the law. If you don't know all the laws, you know where to find them. So that's basically the essence of field training. And then
Right.
process, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you know how to do field sobriety tests? Do you know how to, take measurements at an accident scene? Do you know how to, conduct a booking process? Do you know how to complete a search incident to an arrest? Those types of things that keep us safe and make sure that we can do the job effectively and um, without taking too much time, I guess.
Right. Good. Making sure that they're ready to problem solve on their
Yeah,
own.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what this job is, right? It's like
Yeah.
we don't. Nobody comes into this knowing every answer, and if you think that you do, like it's still to this day, there's going to be something that happens today, and I'm going to be like, what? But you just hope that through your career and through your training, you learn like a decision making model so
Yeah.
that you can say like, okay, what's the first thing that I do here? Well, it's the first thing that we should do is try to take steps to prevent this from getting any worse, right? Okay, boom, we've done that. And now what should we do? Oh, we should like make sure that if there is somebody that's injured or hurt, we take care of them right away. And then so like you just learn how to like sort of slowly work through things. And
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, I think this is one of the misnomers, right? Like time is on our side.
Yeah.
You know, very rarely do we have to make like split second decisions where like you don't have time to think about it. We do, right? And you just hope that when that time comes, your training is good enough. And we always say you fall back on your training. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall back on your training.
Yeah.
So, but most often you have time that you can stop, take a breath. You can look at like the law. You can talk to your supervisor. You can figure out a way to make a better decision than haste,
Yeah.
haste makes
Absolutely.
waste, as they say.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Definitely. Well.
One other big thing happened since the last time that we spoke, which has a very positive impact on me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and share that because you're not asking. So the state of New Hampshire passed a budget, and there was a trailer bill in the budget that talked about the New Hampshire retirement system.
Yeah.
So that positively impacted me.
Okay.
Right.
There you go.
So prior to that being passed, I was going to have to wait until I was 47 years old to be eligible to retire.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of different little nuances in there. However, when the bill passed, it now shrunk my required time down 2 years. So I am now at 16 months and 28 days
Until you can retire.
till I can retire.
Are you going to?
We'll see.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
I guess I'm not
It's- I
asking. I
guess-
guess I'm not asking
I
for a
guess-
hard commitment
no.
for your retirement.
I guess it just depends, right? I guess it just depends on how things are going.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? Like if you think about like I'm 43 and a half, 43 years, 7 months and 3 days old as of today. And that matters, right? Months matter.
Right.
Like if you ask a new parent, like, how's your baby? Oh, 7 months old, right? Months matter when you're a baby or when you're at the end of your police career.
Okay. All right. Months. I can't count very high, so I don't
Yeah.
go past 12 months.
So 43 years, 7 months and 3 days. That's how old I am. So it's just weird to think that at the age of 45, I still feel young, right?
yeah.
That like you can retire.
Oh yeah.
And I don't
Especially
know what
with
the
your
heck I
Strava
would
app.
do. Yeah. Right. Maybe I just run.
You'll run. You'll have so
Just
much
chase
fun,
miles,
dude.
right? Maybe I'll run more and start working with kettlebells a little bit more.
Hey, you know what? Kettlebells are good.
I do. I love kettlebells.
Yeah, I love kettlebells.
Me
I
too.
started doing only kettlebells for a while, and I don't know, the different phases of the gym that I've gone through are fun. So right now I've got like a mix of weightlifting and kettlebells, but I like the
Nice.
mobility aspect of
Yeah.
of kettlebells. So it's just a different functional training.
So as an aside, as we're talking about sort of exercise and diet, I'm trying something today, which I don't normally do, and I know that people do, but I'm going to count my calories today just to see, because I think I eat like a savage.
Yeah.
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 Like I eat like a caveman
Okay.
all day long.
Raw meat.
No, I'm just like constantly. I feel like I'm just like constantly on the hunt for food all the time. I'm hungry always. But I do take my weight like every day, and my
Yeah.
weight stays stable.
Right.
So I know that I'm not overeating because my
Mhm.
weight's not gaining, and I'm not undereating because my weight's not dropping.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious where I'm at. I can tell you right now.
Are you trying to see if you're at like a caloric deficit or surplus?
No,
or
I'm
are
just
you
curious.
Yeah.
Like I said, because my weight has been stable for the last couple of months. Like
Right.
generally speaking, I'm within a couple of pounds of each other from week to week.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what my intake is, and I can tell you what my output is, my caloric output every day,
Mhm.
but I'm curious what like my resting metabolic rate would be. And so I figure I'll measure my calories today and see. I can tell you as of now, 10:40 in the morning, I've consumed 800 calories.
How much is a coffee?
0.
That's what I thought.
Black coffee.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I thought.
I think I'm going to be upwards of like 3,500. That's going to be my guess.
That's hard. When I was running track in college, I had to eat every day 3,500 a lot, and
Yeah.
it was so hard to do it. I never want to do that again.
Why?
I don't know. I felt like every meal I was like eating, and then I'd like be like, okay, I got to eat another plate of this, and then
Yeah.
eat more, and it was
I think
way too much eating.
so. I tend to eat really clean
Yeah,
in the morning, and then towards the afternoon, man, I go into the abyss. Like I have a sweet tooth, and it just like shoots off, and I start eating candy, and then at nighttime I'm eating cookies and ice cream cones, and I become a savage.
yeah, yeah.
People like if you eat more in the morning, right? Like you're not as hungry throughout the day.
No, that's just
False.
it can't be. The bigger breakfast I eat, the sooner I'm hungrier at lunch.
Okay.
Like I feel like if I eat a big breakfast in the morning, somewhere around like 7 or 8, by noontime I'm hungry. I can last until like 1 or 2 if I eat a smaller breakfast.
See, I don't actually want to do anything different today. Like I just want to document what a normal day looks like. So a normal day looks like ice cream and cookies at nighttime and candy in the afternoon.
Yeah, you can't you can't
I don't want
because
this
you're
like
counting, get rid
Hawthorne,
of it. You have to
Hawthorne effect,
get it.
right?
Yeah, you have
Because like I could just be a slave to the chart today and then be
Yeah.
like, oh look at that,
Yeah,
1,800
we get
calories.
that. Yeah, right.
And that's not normal.
That's
I
not
want to know what the normal is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you got to eat the ice cream.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
eat the cookies, and
yeah.
you have to write it down too.
Yeah.
So that's the key. Is sometimes you just leave it out, and then you confuse like, oh, why am I still gaining weight? Because you didn't write down the ice cream.
Yeah,
You're
right.
embarrassed.
Do you find that your day, like your mood throughout the day is different if you don't work out?
I have a harder time starting the day. Mood, probably not. Maybe if I tried to like think about it, I might get irritated a little bit more easily, but that would be a hypothesis. I don't know that I could specifically say that.
Yeah.
I usually have a pretty good mood throughout the day because people are always coming in, sitting down, and then I just
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's hard to get me in a bad mood usually.
Really? Is that a
Yeah.
challenge?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No, don't put me in a bad mood.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
like being in a bad mood.
Yeah, no.
So I try to just stay in a good one.
Same here. Yeah, exercise keeps me in a good mood though. It keeps my head clear and it's
Yeah.
it's been a part of my life for so long. And you know, it's interesting because like people who know me well know I've gone through a couple periods of my life where I have not worked out.
Hmm.
And like I can overdo it in the other direction too, which is like do nothing and eat way more calories and have 1 or 2 more of those cold drinks and like gain a bunch of weight. But like when I'm on, like it's just my life is 100 times better.
Yeah. I'll
It's just
say running in the morning, I notice immediately a higher boost, I guess.
nothing like it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel more ready to go
Yeah.
after running than I do even just working out. Like the workout's good and the workout's nice, and I'm happy that I work out, but like the running, I feel happy and energized.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Last week just a couple quick little anecdotes, but last week on Monday morning, I ran super early in the morning, and I set this stupid little goal for myself, and I hit it last Monday morning, which was I ran from one end of Maple Avenue to the other, to the junction, without seeing a single car.
Without seeing a single car?
Yeah, because it's so early in the morning.
Yeah.
Typically, like I'll pass like one car on Maple Avenue at that,
Right.
4 o'clock in the
4,
morning,
right? Yeah.
right? but I was like, I wonder if I can make it all the way down here someday without ever seeing a car.
Okay, and
then-
you did it.
Yeah, last week. It's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's not like I ran faster or anything like that.
Is that indicative?
No, no, no,
of how
no.
fast you're
No, no,
running?
no,
Like,
no,
like
it's just-
running so fast that they're just not even gonna have a
No,
chance.
no,
for
no.
a car
It had
to
nothing to do with speed. It was just like, I wonder if there's going to be a day where I'm going to run down this road and not see a single car.
Yeah.
And that happened last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then, the second anecdote I was going to share, unrelated to that, was I did notice last week, though, that, like, you remember how it got, like, super hot again last week? Yeah, it took something out of me. I think I kind of had gone to the well a little bit. I was feeling like garbage for a few days there.
Sure.
But this morning, it's like 45 degrees.
So
Perfect.
you like colder weather,
I
right?
do not. I like hot weather.
For running.
Oh, yeah. I'm a better cold weather
Yeah.
runner. But I hate saying that because then people are going to be like, see, I told you don't like hot weather. I do. I don't like cold weather. I'm just a better cold weather runner.
Right.
Yeah.
That means when you retire in 10 or 15 years.
16 months.
And yeah, but we want to keep you around.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
All right. So when you move to Florida,
Yeah.
'cause you
In
said
17
that,
months.
You said that last night.
Yeah.
17 months or 17
Yeah.
years.
Won't be able to move to Florida quite yet because I have my youngest son is going to be a sophomore in high school. So I got to
Okay, so
wait till he gets
a little
out of
bit
here.
longer, right?
Yeah.
Right. When you head down to Florida, you have to wake up at like 2 a.m. to get any type of chilly weather to run.
But when I'm retired, like, who cares? Like if I'm just like, I'll run some, I'll walk some. Like, who
Okay.
cares?
Okay.
Maybe I'll just ditch running altogether and take up golfing or something.
Golf. There you go.
You golf?
I used to golf all the time.
Yeah. Well,
I was okay,
yeah.
but I haven't golfed. I'm supposed to golf later today, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see how I do.
You always have these like little pearls that come out in the middle of the we start talking about golf. Like, yeah, actually, I'm golfing today. Last time it was like, oh yeah, my dad was a cop too. It's like, what? Like we should have led with that chance,
Yeah.
This little weird
He's
coincidences.
He's not that anymore, though.
Yeah, no, but he was when you were a kid. It's like a connection that we share,
Yeah, that's true. Well, have you read anything lately?
Have I read anything? I'm reading a book right now called My Brave Boys.
Mhm.
So it's about the New Hampshire 5th, which was a military regiment during the Civil War. And it talks a lot about like Claremont men who went and served in the 5th during the Civil War. And, we had a huge portion of the New Hampshire 5th died at Gettysburg. So
Oh, really?
I'm just sort of getting going in the book. Truth be told, I'm having a little difficult time like building momentum
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we're not into the war yet. And,
Oh, yeah.
and so like when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, if I'm going to read for a little bit before I go running, it's like, like
Is it like genealogy or anything like that?
No, it's
this
just
is kind of where we collected them from, or are they like marching down?
Yeah,
it?
marching.
Okay,
Yeah. It talks. It's kind of interesting because there's quotes in there from like the Daily Eagle, which was obviously the Eagle Times back in the 1861.
Yeah.
And it talks about like quotes that the Daily Eagle had offered when the Claremont men were leaving or talking about the war and that kind of thing. So it's really interesting because it has this local connection to Claremont and the Civil War. But like I said, we're not into the heart of the book yet, so it's I got to get going.
Marching is always hard. Like, did you ever read Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually read.
I'm a fiction guy myself, but
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is hard. Part of getting going with Lord of the Rings is that the whole thing is they're walking, from basically one side of wherever they are to the other.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, they're like walking.
Yeah, let's go.
And walking. You're like, okay, there's grass over there. Yeah, okay, great. But yeah, that's always the hardest part when you're like trying to get somewhere.
Yeah. And I think once you get to like, once you're invested, like, and it's getting you to turn the page, but sometimes like you really need to either be awake or like it's got to get your attention, and I'm just not there yet. So
yeah. Well, I'm sure
it'll come around. It'll come around.
Right.
Yeah. What else is going on with you?
What's going on with me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Cutting hair.
Yeah, just cutting hair. I don't think I have anything exciting. We did achieve one of my dreams last Monday. We did back to school haircuts for free for kids, and that was cool.
Nice. How many did you get in?
We opened up slots. We're gonna do it differently next year. So this was our first time ever doing it. So
Yeah.
we got it going. We learned what to do, what to improve on.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did was we opened up slots. So myself was cutting, and then Adasia and Amanda were cutting, two of the stylists that work here. So they all had 30-minute slots available. We took in total we gave 23 haircuts away.
Nice.
So that was awesome. And I really appreciate them for coming and doing that, because they didn't have to, they gifted their time to just
That's
come
cool.
cut hair. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was awesome. But a few years ago, several years ago, before I lived here, my best friend lives in Kansas City, Missouri. And so I would go out once a year to visit him, and it happened to be that I was out there during back to school time. I didn't know it was back to school time. It was just vacation for me.
Yeah, it's just when it happened, right?
He was at work, and I was just going around driving to different barbershops just to network and say hello and stuff. And I was in a specific barbershop, 1080V or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the barbershop, but that Joey owns the barbershop. And he goes, "Did you bring your clippers?" We're like, I'm like, "Yeah, I have my clippers." He said, "We're doing free back to school haircuts for the kids this weekend. Are you gonna be here on Saturday? Do you want to come cut?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, I'd love to do that." So I show up, not knowing anything what to expect, and it's a complete back to school drive. He's giving out free haircuts, free backpacks, free school supplies, and then there was a ton of other resources. I only did the haircuts, but he had a whole, the whole block was shut down for this event that barber had started. He had a nonprofit himself, and so that's kind of like the goal of where I want to get to, is to be able to do that. But it was cool to be able to like just do it.
You should offer your services at Back to School Festival. Not necessarily this year, but maybe that's something that you could.
That is, yeah. So that is the goal that we're working on trying to get to.
Really?
Yeah. So next year I'm hoping we can maybe double the amount, and we'll probably try and get other people involved, some of the other salons involved as well. This one was kind of last minute. We just posted it on Facebook and opened it up, and people signed up. And
that's really cool.
So it was good. Yeah, it was awesome, because that was kind of like a dream thing that happened.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's cool that it's also cool that your dream includes charity. I like that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah. That's about it. That's all I've done.
That's all I've done. That's all I've
cut hair, dude.
No, that's a good story, man.
Even that, I'm cutting hair. But yeah, not too much else going on. So, well, I suppose we'll let you get on to the rest of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We've been at it for a little bit now, so.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Hopefully we kept it within 30 minutes, or Rob will
53.
Okay, well. Rob's always mad at us. That's all right.
Sorry.
Well, it's good to see you, brother.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah.